Some of these more experienced players have already seen these maps, so they kind of know, where to take. I mean, what kind of positions to take there, and what angles they're going to approach. When coming off these ramps in these obstacles that we have not kind of experienced here before. So again, going to be a great match here. So I'm not quite sure what happens here, but it seems like Tinjo's actually is going to be able to find his way off of the edge here first. So Tinjo going with a great start here, coming off the blocks, as well as FD907. Now Tinjo's is not a player who usually comes off of these starting blocks that fast. He's not somebody who is able to find his way to the starting lead position there. But again, a good match there from Tinjo's. It seems like he is very poised here right now to complete this map here first. We don't see a good positioning being taken, but it seems like though FD907 tried to overtake, but a risky play. FD is going to be knocked off the map, and that means he's not going to be able to finish there. A bad start to the Grand Prix, so it looks like these races here today for FD are probably not going to be the best. Rick is still stuck up there. I probably spoke too soon. We talked about, him being able to, try to discover these maps in this positioning even better. But again, sometimes an experienced player's worst enemy is going to be the RNG actually, and that's going to be so devastating to see there from Rick. But if he can be able to get a good overtake at some point, and hopefully if the ramp does give him a good enough angle, with the Pidgeotto and APOC both going to be knocked off of the map there from these spinners or this little ramp here. I think that was the case, and that's going to be so unfortunate to see that. But like I said, even though Rick is probably not going to be finishing here first, he does still manage to have a chance here to overtake possibly and keep himself in a good position here. Tinjo's now is struggling just a little bit, trying to get to the pipes here. It seems like he was going to be stuck there, but then again, Tinjo's not only taking the lead here, but able to do so at a very consistent rate. And with this, I think the way or the velocity that he was able to come off the blocks here would just gave him such a huge advantage, even though these obstacles were tough there. And we see Rick here, he does struggle a little bit too. This is a very slow match here for Rick, but I think once he knew that the players got knocked off of the pipes here, he kind of knew that it was it was a safer match that he had to take there. Now he can still kind of do a risky play, and if he does manage to get through these obstacles here, he does still have a chance to overtake on Tinjo. So a very close race depending on where Tinjo decides to go. Tinjo's is trying to go and get through these spinners here, but Tinjo's having a hard time right now. It seems like his obstacle control is not one of the best that we see in the series, but again, eventually Tinjo's is able to push through that as well. So just a great match there from Tinjo's. It seems like most likely he's going to be first place, so nothing here to challenge him, and that's going to be a GG. Tinjo's is going to be first place. What a crazy, for this map, it doesn't seem like it's too tricky or complex, but really what it does to you, and the finishing that it sets you back quite a bit times, because when you have players like this who don't take the bigger risks, but they're still able to compensate with that for it. All right, so a very interesting sort of start there. We see Pidgeotto getting knocked into position here first off, and Gallo and FD taking some very, very fast starts here. And as we see there, as I mentioned before, FD907 is somebody who's able to just take a quick start when it comes to these first obstacles, whether it's funnels or spinners going down with bumpers. It just gets very interesting here. Now Gallo here is somebody who's not too quick coming off the start here, but again we see him, the RNG really paying off for Gallo here today, and it seems like there's not really a lot of positioning that anyone's trying to take to overtake against Gallo here. But I think we're probably going to see Gallo finish right through there. He's trying to get through the spinners, but it seems like it's going to really delay him a lot here. Gallo is struggling a lot through those spinners, and that's going to allow APOC to get through there in time. The delay from Gallo just allows Pidgeotto and APOC to get a good start to this match here. So I guess we're going to probably see these two try to go for the first and second place finish here. But APOC is doing so well not only going off the starting blocks here, incredibly fast, but again, he is being consistent here with the angle control, and Pidgeotto here following very closely. But again, it doesn't seem like it's going to be any close between these matches here. Kind of a one-sided thing. Unless Pidgeotto can overtake here effectively, then we won't really see a challenger here against APOC as far as going into this next position here. APOC again just maintaining such a great position here. We don't really see a lot. Pidgeotto is, like I said, close. He can overtake potentially, but then again, he's getting knocked back from these obstacles here. So between the first and second place, it is not really a close match. It is kind of no contest there. So APOC just going to go away with the easy win. But look here at from these other racers here, the spinners are putting a lot of racers so far behind. Rick, Tintos, and Gallo just not being able to finish there at any means there. So FD, Pidgeotto, and and APOC just going to be able to burn through this. But again, so unfortunate for these matches here. Rick not going to be able to do kind of very much there, and Tintos there as well, just going to finish pretty close at fourth. But what an unfortunate race for the last three players, because they got knocked off from the spinners at the start here, and that really, the positioning was not there to overtake. And like I said, folks, sometimes when you have these maps that don't have crazy complex turns, it's very interesting to see like what kind of map styles affect your positioning in the race there, as far as besides your finishing rate. So that was just an insane match there between the first three, just consistently for APOC. He does have experience with these longer maps, these kind of maps that are more straightforward, so great on him. But then again, just an unfortunate finish there for Rick. We could have seen him do quite a lot there. But a tie in the series now between APOC and Tintos, so we might see a lot of closer race finishes here. But again, GG for APOC. He is having a great race. I mean, he's having a great day with these races today. All right, so here we go. Good luck, have fun between all six here. Now we see Gallo having an initial start here, and what it seems like is the players in order of what they finished in the last match are set in the back here. So again, I don't think that's going to make a significant difference here, since it all depends on the angles in general at which you approach this funnel finish. So it's going to be hard to kind of take a look at that. I don't think we're going to see anyone get close to Zanzar's sort of finish. As we can see, he is already so far ahead with that record. But again, it's going to be tricky here. I don't think a lot of players in this race are going to be able to go off first, but it seems like FD is going to try to go there to the funnel here first. Like I said, FD and APOC both being players who can get off of the funnel here first, especially when you have the funnel bait starts. They do know how to control the angles and the rotations so well. Now we would expect someone like Rick to do so as well, but again, Rick's somebody who's just more obstacle based here, able to control himself through the obstacles. So again, we can see Rick do a good overtake here at some point, in these races. But then again, his marble speed is not there today, so it's going to really have to depend on how well he can manage through these obstacles. We do see now that Rick is taking a good position right now. All players are really close in this match, so this match so far really close, a little bit too hard to tell. We do see Rick and Gallo trying to do some sort of overtake as far as the position here. Again, a very, very close match. Pidgeotto also, at some point could be overtaking here as long as FD doesn't get, bumped off as well. But there goes the overtake, like we just mentioned here. Pidgeotto doing a great overtake against FD907. So that does mean we might see a finish here from Pidgeotto. He's not going to be, anywhere near the end as well. We don't really see a place where somebody can try to overtake here. I think it also depends on this funnel finish here. But again, there's such a close positioning here between all of these six players. It could be a close finish between the first and sixth place, as long as we see Pidgeotto actually going in there first through the funnel. What a close match there, and it seems like FD's kind of losing that position there, unfortunately, and Pidgeotto is able to take home that win there. So sometimes in this certain race here, this map does not really reward the first person to come off there too well. It kind of depends on that last position, the last funnel there that you take, as far as the angles that you approach there. So again, the way we create a separation here to see more stats here and players compete is to actually join the races. It's going to be such a clear advantage here for you. So we do see, like I said, FD always he's a very fast marble here. His marble has incredible speed, speed-based stats, and it keeps allowing him to go down these blocks here fast. And we see Tindo's doing so as well, establishing himself as a faster marble. I think, you know, in training camps that we've seen players do in the marbles, they've really been focusing on that speed. Now Tinjo and Gallows are two players who've been focusing so heavily on speed and trying to train that here. In the training camps, they've really been you know, hammered down, you know, by their trainers, by their coaches, to try to overtake it with great speed and see how that goes. But it seems like nobody's going to take that advantage there with the early map here. So again, it's going to kind of depend on what happens with that. So the middle sort of positions here are going to be a little bit more advantageous. We don't see anyone taking the far left, so that's going to be good. But still, again, such an unfortunate start there for Rick. I think, you know, Rick, even though he has a lot of experience here, he needs to work on that speed just a little bit more. But Tindos and Gallo just having some clear positioning here right now. We don't really see, you know, any chances to overtake at the moment. But now, since Tindos is actually going to be stuck here from this pipe here, and the angles of the edge of the pipe, it does allow FD trying to overtake there. But that's going to be a unfortunate drop there from FD, you know, getting knocked off in the edge of that initial curve there. I mean, knocked off the edge of this huge sort of, you know, half pipe. So that is just so unfortunate there. Now, the bumpers here are also going to play a huge role against positioning here for players. So depending on who can fight through the bumpers, it's really going to decide on who can finish this with a great race. But again, Pidgeotto being heavily consistent here, as well as Tinjo's. Now, a first and second place finish there, as we can see. So hopefully we get to see Rick do a finish here eventually. And Rick, again, even though he does not win, he keeps himself consistent with the fourth to third place finishes. But again, what a match there. FD just so unfortunate. Gallo actually gets knocked off from the bumpers. GG for Gallo. And that's going to be an it seems like only 4 players in this sort of race here that are going to be able to finish in this map. But it was very interesting to see, you know, once you got to, you know, FD was actually one of the people who came off the blocks here first. But again, he got knocked off there from the you know, from that first ramp, so that was unfortunate. But again, Pidgeotto and Tinjo was able to maintain that consistency here and push ahead of some players that actually play marbles. So all right, good luck, have fun. So on these players now, Tinjo's actually gets a huge advantage here. Tinjo's going off the blocks here and incredibly fast. Not something that we usually don't see, you know, except from a player like Zanzar. But then that's going to really play a huge disadvantage here. Unfortunately, Tinjo's going to be knocked off. Now, what we saw from Tinjo's, Gallo actually getting knocked off here. Unfortunately there, that's going to be an insane finish there from Gallo. But what we've seen Tinjo's kind of do is he approaches these little curves too fast here when you get past the spinners and actually get stuck there. So even though Tinjo's, oh, and Rick gonna be knocked off here as well. Not just a very unlucky RNG today for some of these players. And I think we might be seeing Tinjo's and APOC kind of fight between the first and second place finish there. But Tinjo's, what he does is he gets to the obstacles a little bit too fast, and that'll kind of you know, get his angles off a little bit too much and kind of stall him a little bit. So Tinjo's is a risky player. He tends to approach it too fast and then starts to stagger a little bit. So that might be a disadvantage here as far as this map goes. But then again, we do see the risk playing off since Tinjo's is able to kind of play throughout this so well. But then again, staggering again for Tinjo's. That's going to be unfortunate. So APOC now going to be able to overtake here very easily. So APOC at this point is just fighting against the clock and fighting against the record set by Zanzar. So Zanzar is a very fast player. Man, that's unfortunate for Pidgeotto, but Zanzar is a very fast player in this league here for marbles, and he usually has most of the local records here for the maps that we play. But again, we could see more records here crushed from these new players joining in and beating like experienced players like Zanzar. You know, as we can see, usually some of the newer players tend to do this. You know, we have a lot of new rookies this season for season 15 of marbles, and you know, in this certain Marble Monday Hype Train League, you know, season 15, you know, it's interesting to see, like, you know, what players kind of come out of the blocks there. They've been training their whole lives for this, like going through the you know, the college leagues, going through the the scrims there, and joining certain esports leagues, all that stuff that they've been putting out there to join join the higher ranks. It's really amazing to see that. Now APOC usually likes to take this path here. So what APOC does is he manages to take a less risky path, which still allows him to finish the map here, but at a very slow place. Now, usually this is APOC's route. He does like to take this the right side just to be safe here, in case he gets knocked off here. But what he's doing here, since he knows that he has a good position in the Grand Prix, but also not only there are 3 players, even if he does get last place here, he'll still get some points off of this Grand Prix match. So that is that's just kind of what we kind of see. So APOC, a very safe player. My bad, my nose is getting clogged up here. We might have to blow our noses here soon. But a very experienced player, and a safe player. I mean, he likes to just take that position to get himself for points. So he doesn't like to go too much for like the risky wins, but he likes to go for points. But a very close match, a consistent match there for Tinjos. And I think FD97 also going to get a good finish here. So APOC and FD are very, very good rivals here in the leagues, and they usually finish around the same time. And they have a very similar playstyle, a very similar speed. I mean, but FD has a more riskier playstyle than APOC does. And as we can see here, APOC does get ahead of FD, but he does overtake. So the save strats does keep him in the 3rd place position, but he does not actually have a position to win there. But there we go, folks. Actually, look at that. Our challenge is completed. We now have 50 coins here, and we can finally buy some damn skins. Let's head to the next map here. So now we're entering the second half of the Grand Prix race here for the Hype Train League. This is the 6th match to the Grand Prix, so again, anything can still happen, and there are still some players that we see potentially who can make a good position on the board and hopefully come off with a great finish to the Grand Prix. All right, so APOC, now like I said, FD having a huge launch off here, but Pidgeotto again working so well on that speed. Tinjo's actually not going to have a good RNG here today, and that's actually going to knock him back off in that position there. Now Rick again not being a marble of speed, but instead of consistency through these obstacles. So in this snowy obstacle here, we might see Rick finally get off get into his rhythm there that he needs to, but it's going to be very tricky to see how this does work out. Now APOC and Pidgeotto in very similar positions right now. They do get launched forward here at an incredible rate. Now Gallo again, I got Windows Update in my screen, so I cannot currently see what's going on there, folks, so my apologies. I think the map just kind of flubbed out there, but a good thing nobody got knocked off, so we didn't really miss much. My apologies about that. But as we can see, Pidgeotto and APOC launching in just a precise angle throughout through this funnel here. So even then, this is a place, like I said, where a lot of players can mess up and get stuck, and we do see that with the last 4 players. They are getting knocked off here by the rocks, but if anyone was going to manage to get through that, in the first place, I think Rick is just doing a great job still. He's trying to maintain that 3rd place position, but hopefully he can overtake here and to keep himself at a good at a good position here. Hopefully some sort of win here. He needs to get more points on the board if he wants to get through this Grand Prix ahead of players like APOC and FD, because they have some very consistent finishes here. So it's gonna be a tricky sort of series here, but APOC still, look at how well he does manage to avoid obstacles here. I think that unfortunately though, they are going to get bumped off. It's hard to avoid the rocks here, so I think this will allow Rick to get an overtake here if he can. Rick does, like I said, the rotation here from Rick allows him to overtake, so now Rick actually going to be able to come down the pipes here first. I don't think we're going to see any finishers here. Draw a challenge. What an amazing overtake there. Rick had such a precise timing that we just saw from this huge curve here. So once he was able to get that timing there precisely and use the rotation to get through the rocks, it just allowed him to get an amazing sort of overtake there against APOC and Pidgeotto. But now FD is trying his best to now FD and Rick are both trying to fight for that position here, but it seems like Rick is going to be there first, and somebody is going to have to take that first, second place finish there. A very tricky sort of setup there sort of setup here to see between these two. But then again, I think we're still going to see Rick coming in with the first place finish here. But wait a minute, APOC though, I forgot to mention about him. He did not have anyone he had to face off against, so then he can still maintain that first place finish. Rick had a great job of doing that overtake. Pidgeotto going to be knocked off there, unfortunately, but still, Tinjos, if we look back here, he was struggling by a huge amount there, from that pipe. So I think that Tinjos having a very slow race, probably not going to finish ahead of time. The fog is going to close up just a bit too soon. But again, in the hype of the match here, all the talk here is between APOC and Rick. Can they both kind of overtake? If APOC does not hit this pipe in time, this will probably get him off the match here. Can APOC do it? And that's going to be a GG here for APOC again. But Rick can get some points on the board here still, if he manages to finish this race in time. And it's going to be a crucial, this pipe here, this ramp is so crucial to finish in here as well. Even if you do get a good race, you need to face and bear through this last pipe if you do want to maintain that position to get some points on the board. So then again, all players here are going to be very consistent. Unfortunately, it seems like Gallo, again, the RNG for Gallo, that's not going to be it for him. So Tinjos does have a chance. If he beats the timer well enough, he can still manage to have a race here. He does have a minute timer on his back, so he can finish in the last minute here if he can go through this race here very well. But again, going through this last section in a minute can be very tricky here. So Tinjos going to have to pull through here. This last leg here from Tinjos is going to be so crucial here, as we can as you can see here, it is closing behind so fast here. We have 30 seconds approaching here for Tinjos. He needs to go and finish off here very strong here. 30 seconds now. If he can get down this pipe in time and not get knocked off from the obstacles, then it can be his race. Now, this is what I mentioned here. Tinjos does have a fast start, but what happens here is when he gets these obstacles, it does knock him off of the match there. It does stagger him. So Tinjos needs to work on the staggering and how he can push through these obstacles. But then again, a great race from APOC and also Rick as well. Rick could have had a good finish there with the first place, but he did get knocked off. So that was just unfortunate there. But again, APOC, with a great match in this Grand Prix, so in an open Grand Prix, so you can just join us at any sort of time that you really want to. It's a bad start of the week, but honestly, Monday, it's just a chance for us to refresh and get ourselves intact. But we'll talk about that later, because we do have a match going on. Let me put the esports echo back on. My bad. There we go. So now Rick actually, this is an interesting sort of story here. Rick, he does usually not have a lot of speed coming off the blocks here, but Rick now is getting some momentum here. He did manage to get off the blocks here first. We usually don't see Rick, having a lot of speed. He's not a speed-based Rick is not a speed-based player, when it comes to marble racing here, but to see him coming off with an incredible speed here, and to see FD and APOC behind players like that who have incredible speed, it's interesting to see there, because they are very consistent there with the with their positioning there in the map. But again, Rick just had a wonderful overtake there and a good position to start off here. So we could potentially see Rick or KML take a good advantage here against Tinjos. So it's going to be so tricky to see how this happens. But Tinjos again making a great statement here in this match here today. I think Tinjos now, APOC is going to be knocked off the map here. That's going to be an FF there for APOC, unfortunately. But we could definitely see Tinjos. He is poised to take home the local record of today's match here, since even the record bot is far behind here. So Tinjos and Rick unfortunately also going to be stuck there, but Tinjos, GG, by about 10 seconds he does manage to actually take that record, the local record of the match, away from Gallo here. And that is just an insane match there from Tinjos there. Rick now, unfortunately, Rick actually got stuck from these spinners, and that RNG against his positioning is going to just pay such a heavy toll on Rick here, and he's not going to be able to finish like he wanted to, even though he was able to get off the starting blocks here very fast. It seems like his marble is just not gonna, the consistency in his RNG is not going to play it through out here, and that's just going to be so unfortunate, because Rick has such a great advantage here and such potential to win that match there. But again, it'd be interesting to see a new winner in the Grand Prix today. So the Hype Train League, like I said, always brings you these amazing sort of finishes here now. Again, my apologies for the delay there. We don't use bloody noses or cloggy noses as an excuse to not do these events and have fun. So, all right, so then we get the esports echo. Let's see. All right, my bad. So the race is now started here. Wait, what's going on? There we go. So it seems like Rick's actually going to be able to take a huge angle there. Rick actually, again, with this good start there, very rare in what we see from from Rick 68. He's still able to kind of get to the starting position, but again, his speed, his base speed stats are probably not going to pay. Is probably not going to be, as like advantageous here. My bad, I can't find the words in my mouth right now, but Rick is just trying to push through here. As long as he gets these obstacles there, he can still maintain a good position in first place. But Pidgeotto and FD both poised to take like some sort of overtake at the moment. So we do see Rick going for the side angles here that can allow him to take some good points off the board. But now we do see Pidgeotto is still maintaining that position here. Nobody's going to take the ramp except for APOC. APOC going to be knocked back there, unfortunately, and that's going to really oh, never mind. That's going to, I thought that was the APOC. I thought that was not the ghost piece, like the actual APOC there. So my apologies about that. But again, now it seems to be a very close match, but FD is still maintaining a good position here. These obstacles are not really going to be phasing him a lot here. And I think we're going to see some good close finishes here between the rest of these players here. So nobody was actually going to finish through the portal there, but still a close match here. Even though Rick did lose his first place, so to finish there, he is still hopefully able to finish with a second place, sort of advantage there. Now APOC again trailing closely behind. I think he can still overtake with Tindos here, but again, these between these four players is very, very close here. Now at this point, I don't see at any point where somebody will overtake, because you do have everyone moving at the same rate, at this point. So again, it's going to be just a GG, first place for FD. I think this is FD number 7's first win of the day, actually. As far as the Grand Prix is concerned, in this league, usually FD does have some really, really good Grand Prix and races here, but this is really not FD's week. He is a 2-time Grand Prix winner in season 15, but this week, not his best. But to see him come through here and just finish off with a good race, at least this is his first one of the day now, and he does actually lead off when he wins like 2 races in a row. So these 2 last races will actually count, towards how that goes. There's here, as we see everyone approaching a very similar angle, at the moment. So if you look at this, the record here is actually held by FD907 as far as local records for this match here. But it seems like right now Rick is actually approaching the funnel here in a very close close fashion. I think Rick's probably gonna be the first one down the funnels, and it seems like now that happens here again. So Rick, his 3rd race in a row where Rick has actually been able to come off the blocks here very fast. But again, what we see from Rick is just a lot of inconsistency with his ability to kind of maintain that position there, maintain that initial speed. So again, when you launch off that, you need the follow-up there. You need the follow-up with how well you finished the match there. So it's about the marathon, not the first sprint when you come off the start there. So Rick is going to have to just be very, very consistent there with how he finishes the map. And now Rick just probably not going to be too lucky there with that RNG where he launches off, since he does coming up here probably will be a little bit faster. But now we see Tindos and KML both taking a bit of a risky route. Tindo's going to be trying to go through, and that means Tindo's still going to be knocked off, unfortunately, there. So, but I think Rick might be the first place finish here. We don't see a lot of other risky matches here going on, but it seems like this could be his match. Rick is going to try to get inside of the funnel there. KML and Rick both being knocked off here. APOC Gaming is going to be coming in first there, and that means, APOC does actually get so lucky because he does hit the bottom here, but then it gets knocked off. So APOC being so incredibly lucky there, as far as that goes, because all you have to do is hit the match, and then you can win in there. But again, APOC, FD, and Gallo all finishing. So this is Gallo's first match here where he does get points on the board, I believe. So the Raging Pit 2 is going to be the map that really counts the most towards how this gets done. And let's see who's going to win the Grand Prix in this last race. It all comes down to this here. Now it is a very, very close match between FD, APOC, and Tinjos. These three, we're going to have to watch for them very closely, as it goes down to this match. Let's see. So now Gallo, again, he has worked on speed a lot, but again, Gallo has been not really too consistent there with the map finishing here. With not being able to control obstacles as well, he might be topped out here. But Rick, again, that instantly ends his chances of getting any finish in the Grand Prix. So Rick, immediately at the start, I said it was going to be rare for someone to get knocked off in this first slope here, but again, Rick somehow manages to get the RNG against him, and that's gonna actually be Gallo now getting knocked off again. Gallo and Rick not having the best RNG at the moment, so now Salty actually, in only one of his few races here, again getting knocked off the Raging Pin. But now I can see why the map is called the Raging Pin, because this is really what's prone to knocking players off. This pin right here is so important towards that finish and how well players will actually get to the map here. So now FD and APOC here are going to be fighting for that first, second place finish here. If one of those two do win this match, that does mean that Tinjos does not maintain his first place position in the Grand Prix. So we do see that APOC is probably in the best advantage right now to take home that win. But Pidgeotto and Tinjos, now that means Tinjos' chances are knocked off here. Tinjos will not be winning the Grand Prix. It's going to be between APOC and FD. Now the only way that Tinjos can win or get some position here is if APOC and FD both get knocked off the map here before the race finishes, and FD going to be knocked off here. So APOC, all he has to do is finish the map. What a crazy sort of map here that we see from these players. I didn't think too many players would be knocked off until the end, but again, this is a great last match to finish off the Grand Prix and decide who is going to be the last winner here. So if APOC does finish this map, that does mean he's probably going to win in the Grand Prix by the points there. So I'm not quite sure, what is required to actually win, but I think it's going to be this last sort of pin there. I'm not quite sure what we are waiting for exactly. So this is a bit tricky to figure that out. I think right now we are just waiting for APOC to at least get through the pin there in order to win that match. That's all you need to do. So APOC is only fighting against the time. I think he just needs to get to the fire. APOC though he's not positioning himself too well to land on this platform there. So again, don't worry, do not ban yourself. You're all good there. Everyone did not finish here except for APOC. The lucky APOC, he might be trolling here. APOC is rubbing it in on their faces here. Not only staying in the map here, but also just prolonging it just to troll his opponents, to let them know that he might win the Grand Prix here. So is that going to be a win for APOC, or is he going to get knocked off the map? Can't really tell. He's got knocked off pretty high. But APOC, it seems like he's going through an interesting funnel here. I'm not quite sure what this whole funnel is doing, or if that is a winning position here. So APOC, wait, the map does keep going after that. I didn't know that. So APOC again, third place is going to FD907. Second place going to Tinjos, and APOC Gaming is your winner of the Grand Prix today. With the 10 races in, APOC does take home that first place finish here. That last race was so important to see how that goes. But let's talk about the Grand Prix today. It took a lot out of these players here. Now Rick and Gallo probably having some of the most unfortunate RNG here, as that as that kind of goes off. So Rick definitely needs to take his marble off the line and polish. It was not a good week here for Rick. Unfortunately, Rick is one of the top ranked players in marbles here, but to finish in the Hype Train League, in his first debut in the Hype Train League like this, probably not the best finish there for him. But still, I think he'll come back next week and have a good few races.